Welcome to Boys in the Burgh, the podcast all about Pittsburgh and these boys right here. I wish I had better things to say today, but I don't. Today's episode is about bring the tissues. Fathead Saloon is closing in the South Side. Boo.
Ooh, it makes us sad.
Yeah, it makes me a sad panda.
What is their official close date? Is what, April 17th or April 27th? It's sad. This is a really big episode.
It is. And my name is Chris Speranza.
Hey, I'm JJ Speranza. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. We had a little bit of an Easter break, so that was fantastic. But it goes by so fast. Next thing you know, we're back in the chair just recording, shooting our shit all over again.
True story there. How was your Easter?
Easter was phenomenal. We went to our parents' house and just had a good old time. And then Carissa's bunny funeral was the hit of the party. So, yeah. How about
That's right.
Oh, sorry. How about your Myrtle Beach trip?
No, I totally forgot that. When you say bunny funeral, you mean the dessert she made, not something extremely sad.
Yes. It's not like the bunnies have gone 6 feet under like fatheads. It's just, it's just the dessert. But hey, you were in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, we were in Myrtle Beach on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, left on Sunday. Well, Friday, Saturday, and then left on Sunday. We had a really good time. I burnt my head super good, so that's always a good thing. We spent all day.
That's why you look a little red.
Yeah, my head's going to be peeling pretty soon here.
Look at that cherry.
I look like Kenny Chesney after a tour. But Friday, we went to an aquarium kind of deal in South Carolina or North Carolina. We had a great dinner. We were just all over the place. Saturday, we spent the entire day at the beach and went to a burger joint afterwards. And then Sunday, we kind of looked down from the balcony at our condo, a beach service for Sunday, Easter day. And then went to Lulu's, which is Jimmy Buffett's sister's restaurant. Actually, you know where that is because we ran our 5K there.
Yeah, that is right. And also, I don't mean to shy away. Speaking of 5Ks, we will be participating in the Draft Day 5K virtual. The Draft Day 5K.
I'm so excited. It's our first virtual race. My first virtual race. I'm super pumped for it.
Me too. I get to do it before I go to work, so that will be a fun time.
Wait, what time are you gonna run?
8 a.m. because it sounds like that's when they start.
I think I'm gonna run the same time as you, right? We'll just like text each other like, "Are you ready?"
Yep. And you guys can also be ready when you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. And you can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can also watch us on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and what's the other one? Instagram Reels. And then we're also on Spotify and YouTube where you can watch us as well. Those were lots of transitions. So let you wrap up the Myrtle Beach thing, put a bow on that.
Yeah, you're good. It was a really great time. We ended up coming home a little early on Sunday, and we got a ton of stuff we brought home from shopping, and it feels good to get back to normalcy, though. Like, I feel like a couple days off was perfect. It was a great way to have a great time at the beach, but it is time to get back to work and get back to podcasting.
That's right. And we are here talking today about the very sad moment of the Fathead Saloon being closed down after how many years in business, JJ?
What is your opinion, Anna? Oh, you gonna tell us your opinion? Everyone, this is Anna, our cat. Just say hi, girl. Okay. Sorry. I get really excited when I see her. So they made a Twitter post, and it's heartbreaking. I won't read the whole thing because it's like 3 pages long, but the very first couple lines are, after 34 incredible years, because they opened in 1992, we've made the difficult decision to close the doors of Fathead Saloon on Pittsburgh's South Side. Back in 1992, this place started as a simple idea. Open the doors, serve great food and beer, create a place where people felt welcome. What we never could have imagined was how many lives would pass through the doors and how deeply this place would become part of the community. It's so true. How many times did I go there when I was in college because it was the best restaurant on the South Side?
And also from kind of like my research, I saw that one of the main things that kind of made Fatheads the way it was is it had that South Side environment, like kind of going in, kind of, shouldering your way through a crowd of people to eventually get to your seat, and then just have, you know, giant burgers just kind of thrown in front of you, and
Mm,
you just eat it, like, and they had incredible burgers, and I tried looking at their menu, but I feel like you could correct me if I'm wrong, their menu's a little bit different now, like, as it's
it's
coming to
smaller.
its end. It's
It's
smaller?
so
Okay.
much smaller. There were so many sandwiches. It was like a whole page of sandwiches, and there was like maybe 6 sandwiches now.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of sandwiches because I was trying to do my research today and just see, like, what's the menu look like today? And it didn't look like a lot of burgers, but I will say, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because we have a lot to talk about, a lot about the history. Uh, you know what?
Ahead.
Let's just start there. History. The history.
Yeah, I mean, it opened in 1992, and it was a Pittsburgh staple ever since then. They became famous because of their Headwiches, which are sandwiches as big as your heads. And, back in 2009, 2010, when I lived down in Pittsburgh, my buddy Adam and Chris and a couple of their friends from, school at, oh, shoot, what's the school by the airport?
That's probably,
Robert Morris.
Airport University.
From Robert Morris, they would take a bus down, and I was living on the South Side. We would meet at Fatheads and then walk down to the milkshake factory, and we would have like the highest calorie night you could imagine. But I mean, I was 19 years old, so it was like the most amazing time. And oh man, I'm just gonna miss Fatheads. I haven't been there for a while, and now I'll never get to go there again.
Now, let me kind of back it up for you. Just go back into that big old burnt brain of yours right now. So, how did you discover Fatheads? Because there's so many different food places and offerings on the South Side that what made you come to say, "Hey, this is my place. I'm going to go to now."
Ironically, it was our Uncle Gary had mentioned, I think I was getting ready to go to school down there, or I was talking about it when I was down there, and he had mentioned that next time he's down there that we need to go to Fatheads because he needed to introduce me to the food. And I used to meet up with Uncle Gary and Aunt Kathy down there all the time, and we would go out, and I think I had almost every one of their sandwiches, but he was the one that introduced me to that restaurant. And I think, did I introduce it to you?
Yes, you introduced it to our family. I just remember we're visiting JJ on the South Side, and we're like, okay. And there's JJ just all hungover and stuff, just like, I've been waiting for this free meal for weeks now.
Preface that I was living off of tuna, eggs, and bread for like months.
It makes you wonder, like, when we're in college, where we find the money to go out. I still don't know to this day how I went out all the time.
we and oh my god, mom and dad, I know you're listening. I'm so sorry to tell you the story, but they would give me, this was back whenever like stuff was rough. They would say, JJ, here's $20. This is all we can really do for the week. And I'm like, got it, no problem at all. And I'd buy $10 worth of groceries, $10 worth of groceries, and spend the other $10 on cigars and beer.
And you needed to relax, you know what I mean? You had to relax a little bit.
Dude, back in those days, we used to get the giant things of tortilla chips from Sam's Club. I would get those and an industrial sized salsa, and that was like my meal.
Hey, you know what John Mulaney says? I lived like a goddamn ninja turtle for all 4 years.
Outstanding. I wouldn't trade any of those days in because whenever I would go to Fatheads after eating that all week, oh my god, I would crush that head witch. It wouldn't even be close. There would be no leftovers every time.
Yeah. So you introduced it to our family, and mom and dad would say, we need to, go visit JJ. You said, finally, I get to have a free meal. And then and you're right. We would eat these burgers. And so I kind of put myself in this headset where I'm a little bit competitive with myself. and I'll kind of do like a man versus food challenge like in my head. And the man versus food challenge, the one was finishing a Chipotle burrito when it was huge at the time. That was 10 years ago. And the other one was finishing that Headwich burger and then making our way over to the milkshake factory and committing ourselves to finishing a whole milkshake. Because you, as a dietitian now, you 100% agree, like that is just unheard of for at least anyone our age now to eat all of that in one sitting.
As a nutritionist, I gotta say, it's a lot of calories. It's a lot of sodium and fat. At the same time, like if you're super active and if you play your cards right. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've gone to Five Guys Burgers and Fries with Katie, and we've split a milkshake and had a burger each. Of course, the burger was on a lettuce wrap, but you know,
You gotta watch out for that glutton.
gotta watch out for the glutton. But so, what was your when you looked at the menu? Did you remember what you ate, like what their sandwich was that you liked?
No. That's why I tried looking at the menu, and I was just sometimes something will, like, spark in my mind and just be like, "Okay, I had this sandwich." Nothing came to mind for me. But I will say one cool thing that I did see, this is what I was gonna say a while ago. One cool thing that I did see was my one of my favorite beers, because we also have to say, Fathead Saloon is not just a restaurant, they are a brewery. They're a company that makes beer that's distributed. I don't know how far out, but it definitely around the Pittsburgh area.
I
Um,
think we do have at our Total Wine a Fathead, like they have a six pack there or something.
yeah. Bumbleberry was my favorite.
Ooh, the bumbleberry. It's so good. It still is so good.
Yeah, and it was really good. I went to a place, out here in Penn Township, called Black Sheep, and they actually have a really good beer selection, and their beer, with it's honey bumbleberry, by the way, so it's like a honey and blueberry flavor, and they actually put legitimate blueberries in there with your beer, and it was delicious.
Do you want to hear something gross that I learned today?
Go ahead, I'm ready.
This has nothing to do with fatheads. It's just something that I learned today in my profession, which is nutrition. Did you know that raspberry, strawberry, and vanilla flavorings come from the anal gland of a beaver?
The flavorings, right? Not like the berry.
Not the berry itself, but they for artificial flavor. Well, so they say it's not artificial, but it is the anal gland of a beaver with urine mixed together can make the smell of raspberry, strawberry, and vanilla used mostly in ice cream and candies.
Yo, that's why I don't mean to get on the nutrition fact thing real quickly, but I that's why I've actually switched my coffee creamers, because I actually read how many dangerous chemicals there are in, like, the coffee creamer that's, like, promoted that you, like, get at Sheets in the little thing and everything. I forget what the brand is, but they're not good. There's bad stuff in it.
I mean, number one, trans fats are just in every creamer for the most part.
And then I bought this creamer at Aldi's, and it was just, like, the ingredients on there said, like, milk, sugar, strawberry sweetener, maybe? Oh, I hope not. It's
You just
hazelnut. It's hazelnut.
you just drank beaver butt.
Anywho, what was your favorite beer down there? Like, what was your go-to?
I'm a big lager fan. Hefeweiser or like some type of German beer. They have a Yinzer lager that is my favorites and a hazy headhunter because a hazy beer every once in a while on a summer day, it hits the spot. But I wanted to ask you, did you have their headhunter IPA?
No, so far I've been on a last summer I was on a Southern Tier kick, and I that really got me accustomed to hoppy beers and like ones that are like hazies. So I think this year I'm gonna kind of commit myself, see if I could find a variety pack for fatheads. Just have like, whatever, a bumbleberry, maybe that hazy IPA. See what's kind of included in that.
Love it. And I do want to preface by saying that the location in Pittsburgh is closing, but the breweries in Canton, and I think there's two other locations, those are still open.
That is interesting. So the brewery is not actually in Pittsburgh.
Nope. No, they, I think they do brew some stuff there, but for the most part, it is, actually the one in Canton is right near the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame.
Do you have notes on this? I have to know more about this, it being in Canton.
Yeah, so in 2018, the company opened a second satellite brew pub located near the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Stark County, Ohio, according to the website. The bar had both a mix of Fatheads beers with a selection of American and international craft beers across 40 draft lines. This is by the Tribune Review. So they had like 40 lines of beer from this one location, and evidently it's right near the Hall of Fame, which is, doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't get any better than that. And Steelers, which I think that team has the most Hall of Famers. Don't quote me on that TikTok. Don't quote me on that, but I think the Steelers have the advantage there. Yep, technically. Uh,
If you're saying so. Actually, um, but uh, what there was a really sweet thing they said. If I can find it real quick. The last thing on their on the big post that they made was from the bottom of our hearts, thank yins for 34 unforgettable years. And it's weird to think we only knew about it for a few of those years because you were born in 1992. So like, you know what I mean?
yeah. And just we only visited maybe I can only count on a hand how many times I visited. And I want to say it was probably like 3 or 4 times, but enough to make an impact that I'm just like, "Yo, if I'm gonna eat this burger, it has to be a special occasion." And looking at the prices, like, $18 burger, they're huge, don't get me wrong, it is the perfect portions and everything. Their appetizer prices, they weren't that bad, if I'm being honest.
Their wings are evidently super, super good. I've never had them before, but they were like regularly priced too.
Yes. The Fatheads, when is their last day again?
April 20. I know they're having their send off, like their last call on the 17th, but I think the 26th is their actual last day. Yeah,
Wow.
April 26th will be the last day.
Okay, so they still got a lot of time and everything. So we gotta talk about, so you would get what was your burger of choice?
So I would not get a burger because for some reason, their Headwiches was what I would always gravitate towards. And whenever I say Headwich, I mean, so one of the sandwiches there that our cousin Steve loves is called the South Side Slopes and is kibasi, sauteed pierogi, onion, American cheese, and horseradish sauce piled on top of a sandwich.
Wow, that's a lot.
So that was one of the most popular ones. My favorite was the Mo Betta beef and cheddar. Every single time I went there, well, I wanted to get it every time. I did try other things, but house smoked brisket, bacon, shrooms, cheddar cheese, chipotle mayo. It says hold the ketchup, but I always put a little bit of ketchup on mine.
Am I crazy for thinking that there weren't as many burger options there as I thought?
No, because their big thing was the Headwiches. Burgers were just they only had a couple on there, and that's how it's always been with them.
Yeah, but portions were always huge.
Yes, even their Reuben was like I don't know how they got the bread that big, but like even their and they did their Reuben with pastrami, which I found really cool. Pastrami, sauerkraut, Swiss, and Thousand Island on rye. Like usually it is roast beef. No, I forget. Anyway, but the pastrami Reuben is really really good there too.
It sounds like I need to make like a whole day uh of like, going to the draft and then going to Fatheads and then just kind of making a whole day of it. I don't know if I can pull it off, but sounds like I need to do something like that. And I don't have time either now.
They're oh man, I mean April. What day is the draft? The 25th.
I think it's 23rd, 24th, and 25th, which is our 5K.
True. I don't think you're going to have enough time to get down there for that because they're going to close and they're going to be busy, like really busy.
Yeah. And also, the fact that the draft might also land on the same day as a potential Penguins playoff game.
The Penguins are in the playoffs?
Not yet, but they're pretty much in it. But there might be a Penguins playoff home game the same time that the NFL draft is in Pittsburgh.
So the whole city's just going to burn down.
Y- m- They do this all the time, and the city is still not burnt to the ground. Like they'll just be like, "We're having the Three Rivers Arts Festival and a Pirates game and a Penguins playoff game. Wicked's in town. What else can we shove in there?"
My God, I mean, the economy is gonna just boom in Pittsburgh. That's gonna be a huge boon to the city. At the same time, it's gonna be crazy.
Hell yeah! And you know, anything else kind of about fatheads that you were just like, what was kind of your process of, you would get out of class, you go to fatheads, and I guess we got to talk about the milkshake. What was your milkshake of choice?
To this day, and I stand firm by this because it is my favorite combination. I did add something new, but I'm still tweaking a little bit. Chocolate and peanut butter milkshake every time, but I did start adding banana to it.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Because peanut butter is good with banana and chocolate's good with banana. Why not mix it together?
Exactly. And it is so good. I used to hate banana flavored stuff. As you know, I used to go to Chinese restaurants, put a little bit of pudding on my plate, and if it was banana, I'd go, ew, and throw it. Not throw it, but like push it away. And now I'm like, I think banana's really good.
I have a smoothie every single morning with bananas in it. I used to do I've been doing mixed berries and spinach, and a banana. But what I used to do was I used to do a banana, spinach, and peanut butter and chocolate almond milk.
Oh, do you put any yogurt in it as well, or just like any like
O-
protein powder or anything?
Only if I'm doing the berry smoothie, I'll put yogurt in there. But with the peanut butter banana one, with chocolate almond milk, I'll just do that.
That makes sense. That is a lot. A lot of flavors.
Yeah. So I have my own milkshake factory at home. It's a healthy milkshake factory.
Well, go, Chris.
Oh, the nutritionist inside of you. Any other notes that you have about fatheads in that long piece
Yeah,
of paper that you showed me?
yeah, I do. So this is from the website. In 1992, Glenn and Michelle, and I'm going to mispronounce this last name. I'm so sorry. Benini, Benigni.
It's a panini.
Mike Bini. Um, they decided to open a craft beer centric restaurant in Pittsburgh. They could not have imagined that one day beers brewed under the Fatheads banner would be known and appreciated all over the world. Recognized as one of the earliest purveyors of American and even international craft beers, Fathead's restaurant on Pittsburgh's South Side became a destination for those seeking out full flavored brews. Their enormous sandwiches and fall off the bone succulent smoked wings also brought guests in. And this is from their website. Uh, 5 years later, in 2023, Fatheads reached another milestone with unparalleled performance and achievement at both the World Beer Cup and Great American Beer Festival competitions. At the World Beer Cup, Headhunters won gold in the American style India Pale Ale category. That's why I was wondering if you tried their IPA because it's won awards.
Ooh, I'll have to try that. Yeah, I'll try that out. Something I actually just thought of while you're reading that, since all these awards and the popularity, I don't think the news is out there at all either. Did you come across anything of why they're closing?
I reached out to a buddy of mine who spends a lot of time down there, and he said the South Side is just not what it used to be. There's no foot traffic because of COVID, and they just haven't recovered from that. And I think that did like a lot of restaurants closed during COVID, and I think this is just an effect now that it's been 6 years later. They're just affected by it. That's what I personally think. I don't really know why they're closing. There's no information on that unless they're making more money off their beer than they were on their food.
Yeah, it's sad, and there's got to be something else behind it. I'm not gonna dig any deeper into it. It's none of my business. But it sucks that they're closing, and because there's no way it has to do anything with money, because their brewery's doing fantastic, and people love the restaurant. There's like meals named after people. I think in the article it said like something like that.
Yeah, there sure were. Like I said, whenever we checked on the website, there weren't many there wasn't that much of a selection, but their menu used to have like you could make a sandwich and they'll name it after you and put it on the menu. Like they were and still are so involved in the local community. And I think there's been a loss of community on the South Side. Now it's either you are at Southside Works or you're on the other end at Station Square, and everything in the middle is kind of falling apart from the sounds of it.
Hmm. That stinks. Is that from your buddy that you talked to?
That's from him and a couple sources that I just have in Pittsburgh that live around that area. And that stinks. I used to live down there. I used to work out there. I used to take the bus there. My life was down there for a couple years, and it's just sad to see that's what's happening now.
Where did you live down there, and how far was that from Fatheads?
I lived on 18th Street and Fatheads. I'll Google it real quick. I think Fatheads was on 21st or 24th Street, so I was only a couple blocks down from it. I walked there all the time. I would walk past it, and that's where the bar next to it at Casey's is where I had my 21st birthday party.
Oh, okay. Nice. And I'm just thinking about just like what would you do when, you were just, hungry because your breakfast, lunch, and dinner was tortilla chips and salsa. What would you do just like that Monday through Friday, just kind of walking by Fatheads? Like, did you see like Jesus like through the logo? Like
Oh,
from like
jeez.
from like
You
your
leave him out.
fasting?
You leave him out of this. It was hard. It was definitely hard to be on the South Side and walk past all these great restaurants because there was Permane Brothers, Fatheads, Nakama. I think had a branch down there that also closed, unfortunately. Actually, Permane Brothers is closing two locations in Monroeville and North for Sales.
I saw that. That's insane. Those have been there forever.
North for Sales in particular. Now, North for Sales, I guess, had some bad management, so that one's not surprising. But Monroeville? Seriously?
Right off 22. Like it's right there.
We went there all the time, and I don't know, man. It seems like that side of Pittsburgh is just I mean, our side, the side that we know, like, what'd that be? Southwest
East
Pittsburgh?
kind of like the east side
S
because
Go
well,
ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I was saying the east side.
That makes sense. It seems like the east side is, I don't know, man, it's just losing a lot of treasures.
Yeah, especially with like Monroeville Mall being closed. It's definitely on its way to being closed down and everything. But you know what they say? It's got to get ugly before it gets better.
That's true, and it sure is ugly.
Yes. And speaking of that, Rise Wrestling, April 11th at the in Monroeville.
Is that where they moved to?
And so yes, they're doing a show there in Monroeville. It's at like the All American Center. I'll look it up. The All American like center that's like right across from uh Comic Con or Steel City Con. They
Oh.
they got a new territory right there. I'm excited because Rise Wrestling is finally on the east side of Pittsburgh, not in Uniontown, the south side. No offense to Uniontown, but the east side, I'm so happy about that. Hey, it all starts with one spark, JJ, to bring a city back.
Does, not to veer off to wrestling, but I think we've talked a lot about Fathead, so I do have a couple questions for you about wrestling, if that's okay.
Ooh, are we wrapping up on Fatheads then?
Yeah, I mean, any last thoughts on Fatheads before we move on?
All right, let me just say the thing then. Everybody, let's say a prayer for Fatheads. Hopefully, everybody there has a great and successful after closing, a successful closing, and don't get overwhelmed by the busyness. It's just, they're going to miss the place. So, everyone at Fatheads, God bless all of you guys.
Seriously, I know it's been a minute, but we're still gonna miss you as an American Pittsburgh institution.
Exactly. So, all right, let's transition this. Second week in a row talking about wrestling. What do we got?
Yeah, if you noticed, right at the halfway mark of our podcast.
Yeah.
So in McKeesport, what was the wrestling group that you were with at that time, whenever you were in McKeesport?
Fantastic question. That's where I trained in McKeesport. It was like a old building behind like a dilapidated church, and it was called Pro Wrestling Express, PWX. and that's where I kind of got my footing and learned a lot about the wrestling business there.
Is it still a thing right now?
I do not know. I think it is. If it is still a thing, there's not really a lot of promotion, it looks like, but I believe it is still a thing.
Reason I ask is with Rise moving to Monroeville, do you think there's going to be like a competition of any sort between PWX and Rise?
Um, Wrestling in Pittsburgh is kind of strange. There's like a rivalry everywhere. There's a rivalry everywhere. It's weird. So it's like you got these different teams, right, JJ? It's like you got the Steelers, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Ravens. But like all the quarterbacks for every single one of the teams is like, Aaron Rodgers. Like bec- because you got some wrestlers that like want to get their name out. So they go to, they go to here, they go to there, they go to the here, they go to there. So it's like I think there is a nature of competition, but it's also in the end goal is for everyone to make money. That's what it is. It's for everyone to come out with an income and everyone to come out being entertained as well. So that's how I kind of look at like Pittsburgh wrestling.
So, with that being said, do you think this may respark the marketing team of PWX since this Rise, which has been such a big thing in Uniontown, is moving closer into their territory?
I don't believe so. I think Rise Wrestling is definitely a promotion that wants to grow and is just making their way up higher and higher, kind of bringing bigger talents in and everything. So, and PWX, if they're still in that building, I don't think much is going to happen just because that building did have uh, construction issues. You want your fans to be in a nice, safe environment and everything, and you want the wrestlers to be in a nice, safe environment. So I think if PWX moves out of there, I think they have a little bit better of a chance. But as of right now, I think Rise Wrestling's pretty good.
Is it fair to say that, like, let's say, just for example, the WWE is like high as you can go. That is the major soccer league. That is like where you work your way up to. PWX is like we'd say where the Riverhound, not PWX, I'm sorry. Rise is like where the Riverhounds are at. Like they're a local crew, but they've got some talent behind them and they're really making some waves. And PWX is like the Riverhounds too. It's like developmental almost. Like it's just people trying to get their stripes before moving up.
Actually, you're halfway there. So I would probably say, like, you know, people really make their name in wrestling by traveling, honestly, outside of Pittsburgh. Like, there are people that put miles on their cars to wrestle in Indiana, Chicago. Like, they wrestle, get done at 11 o'clock at night, and drive that whole night back to Pittsburgh. I've done it once. I did not like it. You got home at 3 in the morning and your next day is ruined. So I'd probably say everyone is the Riverhounds in the Pittsburgh area. And just, it's just a matter of going to different places and just getting your name out there. That's all it really is.
Interesting. Was that trip that you took with Phoenix, Mr. Phoenix?
Mr. Phoenix. Yeah, he does a lot of traveling out, and he's an example of someone that does a lot of wrestling outside of Pittsburgh and does pretty good for himself. I imagine. I haven't talked to him in a while, but seems to be doing pretty good for himself and has a name out there. And look at someone like Lee Moriarty, who's on AEW right now. He made the jump. Actually, went to Mexico for a little bit and trained, and then came back to America. Kind of traveled to a bunch of different places and got his name out there. And look at him now. Probably one of the best wrestlers in the world right now.
Is he in WWE or AEW? AEW.
He's in AEW, yes.
What about the gentleman that you used to wrestle with at PWX? It was a tag team that I think they were in AEW for a hot second there. Do you remember
The main event, Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr., they are doing awesome. So they're doing fantastic. I believe Duke Davis was there's another wrestling promotion called IWC, International Wrestling Cartel, He was their champion for a little bit, so he's doing awesome. I think Gannon Jones. I think they tag them them and Duke Davis tag at like different promotions also, and they like swept like the gold, like all their tag team titles for a little bit. So they're doing great. They're doing fantastic.
That is awesome. I was we were just talking about them the other day, and I was hoping that they were having success out there in that world.
Yeah. So pretty much everyone, yes, Rise Wrestling is there on April 11th in Monroeville, but go support all the local wrestling. WWE's too expensive now. CM Punk even cut a promo that said tickets are too expensive. He legit told TKO to lower the ticket prices in his last promo.
Man, I'm sure they're not though.
Go visit the local wrestling promotions. Pit Fight, our buddies at Pit Fight, they just had their show.
Love Pit Fight. But did we had the main guy on here last a couple years ago, didn't we?
Heck yeah, Kyle Harper. We had him on there. And Pit Fight was obviously another successful event, so they are doing well.
Awesome. Oh man, have they released any other matches besides the two that we talked about for WrestleMania yet?
Yes, there's so many WrestleMania matches. I mean, there. I'd have to look it up. You kind of threw me off guard talking about this.
I figured for fatheads, like we kind of know the history, we know the food. I think everyone out there knows fatheads. So I hope everyone comments, enjoys. Let us know what your favorite sandwich was. We want to know what you guys thought about fatheads. But we have a whole other half of the podcast to fill in. So figure we talk about some wrestling.
Heck yeah. So okay, so we'll get into it real quick. Main event: Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. I'm talking about night one. So Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee as his manager, because supposedly Randy Orton was talking to someone on a phone and it ended up being Pat McAfee, and everyone has just been crapping on Pat McAfee since.
Why?
I don't know. No one knows. Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. Then we got Seth Rollins versus Gunther. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. We got a women's tag team championship fatal 4-way. Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. And then we got LA Knight and the Usos taking on Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed.
I Show Speed?
He is a YouTube sensation.
I know who he is.
That is now turned into a wrestler. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, he's a wrestler now.
Yeah. And then night 2, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, Sami Zayn versus Whoop That Trick, and then you got Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi, and then a Intercontinental Championship ladder match. So it's a lot going on. I believe it's Dragon Lee, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, JD McDonough, Penta, and Javon Evans.
I forgot that Penta is still wrestling. He was on WCW back in the day.
He was not on WCW, JJ.
He's like 90 now.
I must correct you again. He was on Lucha Underground.
Different Penta. Okay.
Yes, different Penta. You're probably thinking of La Parka.
Possibly. This was like 15 years ago.
Probably La Parka. And he is still wrestling now.
Cool.
So, do you want to talk about WrestleMania predictions next week?
We could do that. We could do that next week. I like it. When is WrestleMania?
WrestleMania is the 17th and 18th, I believe. Or 18th and 19th. 18th and 19th it is.
Have you... I know you don't watch this. I know the only reason you go to the Indy 500 is for like the experience, but do you watch any IndyCar racing?
No, I don't watch IndyCar racing.
Okay, never mind. I won't get into that. We're going to a movie theater in May to go watch Formula One race in Miami live, so we're pretty pumped about that.
That's awesome. Good for you. And how about we start winding this down so we could get everyone excited for WrestleMania next week.
Sure, and I know you're excited to go eat some dinner.
Yes, I am. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I've been Chris.
I've been JJ.
We'll see Yins real soon.
Bye.